Hello, everybody. Thanks for coming out despite the weather. Thanks for coming in this way. We're going to be using microphones. It's for the webcast. We've got a few people that are attending around the province, watching online. So that's why these are here. If you can't hear us or the echo or whatever, just let us know. You'll probably see some traffic coming by in the next maybe 5-10 minutes. People are exiting another meeting. So when that happens, just bear with us. But welcome to our third Yaffle Connects event. A couple housekeeping items. The emergency exits are just there behind you. There's washrooms if you follow around the right here. There's washrooms if you follow that hallway. Please turn your cell phones silent. We'll be taking a few photos during the section to share on social media. So if for some reason you didn't want to be included in that, just say now in front of everybody. I mentioned we'll be webcasting. Before I introduce today's speaker, I would like to respectfully acknowledge the territory gather as the ancestral homelands of the Beothuk, and the island of Newfoundland as the ancestral homelands of the Micmac and Beothuk. We would also like to recognize the Inuit of Nunatsiavut and the Nunavut and the Innu of Nitassinan and their ancestors as the original people of Labrador. We strive for respectful relationships with all the peoples of this province as we search for collective healing and true reconciliation and honor of this beautiful land together. For today's session, we're going to set aside about 25 minutes for our presenter, and then it'll be followed by another 25-30 minutes of discussion. And there'll also be opportunities to connect with each other and connect with Ying after the event. I'll make sure to connect everyone at the time. For folks watching online, you're welcome to submit your questions. Myself, Justin Deering, my email is jdearing@mun.ca, and I'll read them out loud during the Q&A. Today's session is entitled Study and Stay, Making Newfoundland and Labrador Home for International Students. And we have with us Ying Zhang, Retention Coordinator for the Atlantic Canada Study and Stay NL program. Ying has over 23 years of international experience working in a variety of educational and business environments, including teaching at secondary level, immigration consultation and representation, program management, international recruitment, retention and integration, as well as career advising. Ying is a regulated Canadian immigration consultant, and she is passionate about helping newcomers develop their unique skill, outreach, and integration into the local community and making Newfoundland and Labrador their home. And that's it. Ying, your turn.
Do I use that or?
No, you can use your help.
Okay. Yeah. Hi. Good afternoon, everyone. It's really nice to see you, and thank you very much for coming to this session. My name is Ying Zhang. I'm the retention coordinator of a program which has a little bit long name called Atlantic Canada Study and Stay Program. So the name comes from the initiative that the 4 provinces in Atlantic Canada are all doing the same program, following the same module. The only difference is that Newfoundland and Labrador has a focus of entrepreneurship as well as professional development, because we understand that international students after their graduation, especially immediately after that, they may not be able to set up a business and survive alone only on the business. They may need to start their business on the side and look for a job at the same time. So we support both of these efforts. So a little bit about how do I change these slides?
Yeah? Yeah.
Perfect. So these are our partners and supporters. We are funded by the provincial government and ACOA, Atlantic Canada Opportunity Agency. The students in this program are currently from Memorial University and CNA. CNA has 17 campuses, and Memorial has Grand Falls campus and St. John's campus. And we support students from all of these places. We also work with EduNova from Nova Scotia, who started this program 3 years ago, and we follow the module of that with an entrepreneur focus. So a little bit about this program. Only international students are accepted in this program, and students in the program need to be in or entering their final years. So all of them are supposed to graduate very soon. We teach professional skills and entrepreneurial skills. And a competence is required to start a successful business, as this program is completely free for students. But students are chosen. All the applications will go through a selection committee who will, the selection committee is composed of people from different institutions and organizations who will decide on which students will be finally accepted in the program. And the program has 6 pillars. We have cultural and social adaptation, where students' cultural development and awareness will be looked at and will be coached on so that they will have an easier adaptation and integration after graduation. We support career and labor market information and access to immigration resources and support. So for this, we work with the provincial government because the provincial government recently launched the International Graduate Entrepreneur category for immigration pathways. So we work with the provincial government so that the students can try to go through this and finally settle down and immigrate in Newfoundland. Professional communication is another pillar where we find that communication in the professional setting is very important to international students in order to find a job and retain a job and finally succeed in their position and also in their businesses. So this is one of the important pillars as well. Another one is networking and professional connections. We hold different networking events, and we connect international students to entrepreneurs, to professionals in the workplace, so that they can practice their networking and communication skills. And finally, we have entrepreneurship training and mentorship. Entrepreneurship is a very, very important focus of our program because we hope that international students in this program can start their own businesses or purchase existing businesses after their graduation. We know that Newfoundland right now is kind of facing issues where people with the successorship, people are retiring and their businesses are for sale, and then we need people to take over those. So that's one of the reasons we're reaching out to the community to see if we can work together. So these really small funds, we were hoping students can develop an understanding of the ecosystem of entrepreneurship in Newfoundland, acquire some new and essential skills. We hope we can nurture connections with local entrepreneurs and mentors. We hope they can understand the funding sources that they can avail of. We hope through this program they can learn about the International Graduate Entrepreneur category. This is the immigration pathway, one of them. And also gain an understanding of the entrepreneurship potential. But also, we have another component to compete for specifically target startup seed funding. I'm going to talk a little bit about that later. So this program is basically online, but so far we have had a cohort in this year. 48 students graduated from this program, and right now we're recruiting a new cohort of 50 to 55 students. The program lasts about 10 months, starting from October or November until July next year when they graduate. So we cover topics related to entrepreneurship training and professional development. There are videos, articles, and there are also in-person events and workshops as well. It can be completed on students' schedule. So these are the topics we cover, and we are always revamping and revisiting these topics, adding things that are specifically for international students. One example is incorporating a business for international students, because it could mean a little different for a Canadian person and for an international student who only has temporary status, and immigration pathways and things like that, or intellectual property, which is really a very important topic from day one for international students to understand. We also have components for professional development. So these are some of the topics. We do these through mentorship and career strategies plus workshops. So these are the features. Besides providing the workshops on entrepreneurship topics and professional development topic, we also have a career strategist who will commit to helping students one-on-one to follow up with their resume and cover letters, to follow up with the local market information and career planning, things like that. We also have mentors who will help students for about 6 months, so that students get an access to the expertise of local people. I don't know if I could. So Danny was one of our mentors in the past cohort, and our students love him. Yeah. Now, this program is defined by 3 key milestone events. One of them is a mandatory retreat. The retreat will happen this year on November the 2nd and the 3rd. So retreat is basically a networking event and an orientation event. Students will get to know each other. They will get to meet their career strategist. We will talk about program regulations, program expectations, and student code of conduct. So that students from day one will know what they are going to expect from this program. Another one will be conference. We call it a SEED conference. So SEED is short for Skills for Entrepreneurship and Professional Development. As Entrepreneurship and Employment Skill Development. So this conference is organized for students. It's basically a learning conference. So we invite panelists, we invite speakers, and students can get to know people from the government, from different organizations and communities. That they can network with these people, and also at the same time, they can practice marketing themselves. So these are the 2 mandatory events. We also have another graduation event in July, will be next year. And one of the most exciting part of this program is that we have a seed funding competition. So this is an opportunity for the students who have completed the program, who have learned enough knowledge and get access to the mentors. They can submit their business plan, and we connect them with MCE, Genesis Center, or other resources to get their business ideas validated first. And then they submit their plan for a competition. There will be a selection committee to review this plan and come up with some finalists. The finalists will enter a pitch competition sometime in June next year. And then we have a chance for 5 students to get $5,000 each to help them start their businesses. I will show you some of the pictures for the pitch competition this year. These are the 4 winners. We also have 1 winner located in Corner Brook. So next to the minister, his name is Santiago. He's an artist, director, and an actor. So he recently wrote a play and directed another play that was on the short play festival very recently in September. And next to him is a tattoo. She's a henna artist. So she does business. She travels to different ceremonies, and she does her business at the local farmers market to do She not only does henna, but also does interior design and customized painting. Next to her is, he is a political science student, but he set up a business for health-related, I cannot talk too much about the details, but it was cool and exciting. And next to him is an oil and gas PhD student. Again, his project is confidential, but he talked about his business idea and he won one of our pitches. So these are the four, and we also have a software developer located in Corner Brook who's also the winner, and he has developed a software. So these $5,000 will help them with certain categories of to use for their businesses. So this is how we can, this is one of the reasons we reach out to the community, because there are things that we would like to work with the community. The first of all is if you are interested, we would need a lot of mentors for this cohort. Whether you are a business person or you're an organization who have the expertise of helping international students with their professional skills or entrepreneurial skills, then you'll be really a good mentor for our program. Like our students with Danny in the past cohort, they really enjoyed and learned a lot from Danny. And Danny also introduced your contacts to your mentees as well. Another thing is that we would like for international students in our program to get to know different communities and municipalities. Most of the students probably will be from St. John's in this program, but we would like them to know more about different places in Newfoundland where there are business opportunities and opportunities to develop. For example, places like Port Rexton, places like Carbonear, Bay Roberts, all these communities, there are opportunities there, and there might be existing businesses there who need people to take over. And then international students may or may not have a chance to know about that community and municipality. So if you would like to, for our programs, to introduce our students to your communities, please get in contact with. Also, we could use the expertise of international students to help with the communities. The students in our programs are from undergrad, from CNA diploma students to undergrad and MUN, to master's students to PhD students. So we take all of the undergraduate and graduate students in our program. They are from different backgrounds and different disciplines. In a community, if you have an event, or if you would like to use our students to volunteer with you to organize something or to plan something, I believe our students will be really happy to help out. And this is also a chance for students to get to know the community. Also, the community gets to know our students, and opportunities may arise from that. So we have 3 coordinators of this program. This is what we did in our conference in Gander in April. That guy, he really enjoys the screech-in. So we did a dry screech-in for all of our students. He's kissing the cat. Yeah, the pictures are hilarious. Some students are really scared, and some students really enjoyed it. That is Oz Fudge. He and Brian Mosh, they were at our conference, and they played a little bit about Come From Away, and students are overwhelmed about how nice Newfoundland people are. Our application, in case there are any students listening to this workshop, our application is still open until this Friday. If you are interested, feel free to tell people to apply. This is actually our graduation ceremony that happened at MUN. This is our group of coordinators working for this program. So this is all about my presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ying, very much. Does anyone here have any questions that they'd like to ask or share an experience related? Here you go. I'll just get you for the folks online.
Yeah, so my name is Danny. As Ying said, I've volunteered as a mentor previously. One thing I just wanted to, and I came because I wanted to learn a bit more. Am I right that it's sort of a two-pronged program in that entrepreneurship is a major focus, but not the be-all, end-all? Is that sort of right? Because you mentioned about employability, development, that type of stuff.
Yes.
So do you mind just speaking to that? Because I just wanted to make sure I have that completely clear. And maybe some people in the room too.
Yeah, that is a little confusing part too. We consider that this program originally came from Study and Stay from Nova Scotia, and then they developed a program called Atlantic Canada Study and Stay. So all the 4 provinces are doing that. Newfoundland is the last one to join the program. All the other 3 programs only have professional development as their focus. So they help students find their jobs after graduation. When Newfoundland joined it, we understand that the provincial government has a stream specifically designed for international student graduate entrepreneurs. So after their graduation, if they set up a business, and then there is a pathway for them to take permanent residence. So this is a really important focus for our program, but we also understand that not everybody is able to set up a business and survive that only. So that's why when we select students, they should have a business idea. They should develop a business plan. They should think about, at least they are having an idea about setting up their business. Ideally, they have entrepreneurship experience before. So most of the students will try to go that way, but some of the students are really excellent, but they may not be able to start a business immediately or alone, or they will have to do it on the side. We also support that. So this also makes us a little different from MCE or Genesis Center, where they encourage students to set up their business alone only, not doing anything else, not taking employment. Yeah.
Thank you, Ying.
Hi there. I'm just wondering, do you have any statistical data as to how many people have been successful in obtaining and staying here in the Atlantic provinces or in Newfoundland in general because of this program?
So far, we only have 1 cohort graduated, and 48 students graduated. 100% are in the province. Yeah. So our purpose is to retain the students after graduation. Hopefully, we can help them stay in this province. If a student doesn't show intention of staying in Newfoundland and Labrador, they wouldn't be selected. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Did anybody else have a question to share? Yeah.
Sounds like an amazing program, Ying.
Thank you.
I'm Penny, and I work with the Office of Public Engagement. And I'm curious about the application process,
Yes.
and also it's a 10-month program. I'm just wondering do applicants meet monthly or weekly, or what the sort of setup is for the program? I'm not sure if you covered that, or I missed it, or just the sort of what the process is once they're in, and how often they meet and what that looks like.
Oh, yeah.
And the application itself, and just a little bit about what's involved in that.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks.
The application is online. Students can go to www.atlanticcanadastudyandstay.com. So you will see all the 4 provinces application. Just click Newfoundland and Labrador, then you will be guided into an application process. Students need to answer so many questions and also submit a letter of intent talking about their business ideas, business plans after graduation. And also they need to have a LinkedIn profile established in order to finish the application process. The application is still open. We opened it in July, in late July. And we know that in the summertime, it could be a little bit slow for students, so we extended it to this Friday. After the program starts in October, the workshops will be done online. Whether there are workshops or seminars, they're all online through Brightspace, Memorial University. We also use another platform called Students to Mentors that's supported by OnPoint from Nova Scotia. So all the applications go into that platform, and it also is it's a place to hold all the documents where students can download them. We also plan to have a monthly meeting or monthly networking called Entrepreneur Cafe, something like that, where we'll invite speakers or panelists, organizations to meet our students, talk on different entrepreneurial topics, things like that. So, and besides that, there will be the retreat and the conference. That's in person. Thank you. I forgot to mention Wendy. Wendy is actually one of our mentors as well. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no, it was
Here you go.
Yeah, I would totally recommend it. It was a great experience. I worked with 2 students over the summer, and it was a great learning experience for myself as well. And not too time-consuming, you know, it was really beneficial.
Thank you, Wendy.
Okay, thank you.
Hi. When you talked about students being able to go out to the regions and communities, if there's events happening, they can come out. Do they generally have like mobility? Do they have cars? Would we look at providing transportation if we're doing something out? So I'm from out in the Bay Roberts area, and we have different events happening out there that might be of interest. So would we help arrange transportation, or how does that work to get them out to the smaller regions? I also have something going on down in the Marystown area.
Yeah, this is a component we added new for this cohort. We haven't decided on the details yet, but we can definitely talk about the details. We also pay attention to students' safety. If they're traveling and things like that, we'll make sure that they're all safe and there's no issues or concerns. Yeah.
Okay, and are most of the students that take part located here in St. John's, or are they across the province? Like, where are most of them located here?
It differs from cohorts. In the last cohort, we have students from Happy Valley Goose Bay, the guy who kissed the cat. Yeah. We have students from Grand Fall, Corner Brook. Right. Most of the students are from St. John's area. For this cohort, so far, most of the students are, again, from St. John's. We have some from Corner Brook as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
And on the program, I noticed that the recruiting deadline was now in September, but the recruitment is still open for this cohort?
Yes,
that's
until
correct.
this Friday, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anybody else? Yep. I'll just do a nice loop, and then you right after. Yeah.
You may have said this, and I apologize if I missed it. So the last cohort just finished in the spring?
In July,
In
yes.
July.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's really too soon to know how many of them have been able to find places or transition to stay. If many of them have been able to go into different communities, I guess it's still too early to tell.
Yes, a little bit early
Yeah.
to tell. Yeah, but we are following up with the students because just because they graduated from the program doesn't mean that our support stopped. So we still contact them and follow up with them. And then if they have any needs, we still have the contact information of them. So we'll invite them back to our events. If there's something that you need our students to work with you, we can send out a letter of interest, express of the interest, and call for interest, and our students are quite active.
Okay, good, thank you.
And Ying, you know this, I think, from knowing Rhonda, but just as the program gets going, as I'm quite involved with the St. John's Board of Trade as well,
Yeah.
definitely make sure that you speak to her or is involved in some way, the connector program that they have
Yes.
going on there.
Yes.
And one thing I wanted to talk to you about, and I might as well just talk to the group, because when I started, I was with TD. Now I'm with CBDC.
Yeah.
I noticed on their financing was
Yes.
a point, which
Yes.
it's traditionally a very difficult spot because permanent residency is a prerequisite for most lending.
Yeah.
But I just wanted a quick little plug for CBDC. We do have a small lending program. It's only up to 10,000, but permanent residency isn't a criteria for that. So
Okay.
that's like a new development that just because I knew this program and because I knew of the struggles we've had with international students and international entrepreneurs in traditional lending. So that's just something to park in the back of your brain. And I'd love to come, and if there's a session on financing, I think CBDC and MBO is the St. John's counterpart. Might be a great opportunity there that unfortunately traditional banks aren't lining up unless you have permanent residency. So that's a cool little change that I didn't know about when I started the program, but that's an opportunity for sure.
Yeah, I'm really interested in knowing more about it because this is one of the reasons we reach out to the community. The reason is that we understand international students may have difficulty in obtaining fundings or loans for their businesses. And one of the students actually had this difficulty in the past cohort. She was interested in purchasing a store, but she couldn't come up with enough funding for that, enough money for that. And it's great to know that CBDC offers this. We can definitely talk more about the details and see how we get message out. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks. Sorry if this is a question that I should know the answer to. So this program is, after a student completes this program, they get PR, or is this a pathway to another, just to help them with another immigration program?
It's more of a pathway, yes.
Okay.
There's no guarantee that students will get the permanent residence. It's up to them because students may have different situations and they may go through different pathways and categories.
Right.
But this does offer a way for students who are entrepreneurs who work for themselves, and before there was no categories for them to apply for permanent residence, but now there is one.
Okay. Thank you.
Great questions, guys. Anybody else? Burning questions going.
We just hope we can get your expertise as our mentors as well. Yeah. So.
Yeah. And anything you guys are, if there is an idea in your mind or a question or maybe an opportunity you want to explore further, feel free to stay and chat with Ying as well. I'm going to provide Ying with your guys' email addresses. So if she want to reach out and just share any updates with you guys, she could. So there'll be lots of opportunity to connect after today. No pressure to do it all now. Was there anything else that you wanted to add, Ying, before we close?
I just wanted to thank you very much to come to this section on such a drowsy day outside. I didn't imagine that people could come outside when it's rainy. Thank you very much. It's really great to see you here and some familiar faces as well. And I hope that in the coming year, in this year and in the coming years, we can work together to help these international students. They're very talented to stay in Newfoundland, and hopefully they can contribute to your communities as well. Thank you.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see, especially from people who have been mentors before, to see the impact it's had on not only the students, but you guys yourselves. And I hope that you guys will continue that moving forward. And it's especially encouraging to see, especially in your example, that it's helped have an impact on how we support international students in entrepreneurial activities. So that's a really encouraging thing to see, and one person at a time, that grows and that grows. So I hope you guys and all the mentors, and that's why it's there, I'm sure, continue to sort of bring that message and bring that understanding out into our communities. So again, thanks to everyone for coming out. Thank you, Ying, for sharing how much you care about this, and as well as all the information. I really appreciate that. I meant to mention it earlier. There's an opportunity for anyone who would like to host a Yaffle Connect session like this, small, intimate, under 30 people. There's an application process. It's just a one-pager, share your idea kind of thing on the Harris Center website. So for anyone here who wanted to do an event like this, where the purpose is to collaborate, share where we'd like to go, and share what we could do together, please please feel free to do so. And if you don't, if you'd like to know more, you can always reach the Harris Center, and we'll share that information with you. So thank you to people online, thank you to people in the room, and thank you, Ying.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, take care, everybody. I will mention that we do have a couple extra lunches, so if your belly's hungry, there are a couple back there. And there's coffee and tea. Feel free to stay and chat.
Thank you.
Great job. Really good job.